Hello there. Welcome everyone to our next event of Empower Africa. My name is Shai Bernstein. I'm head of business development at Empower Africa, and I'm very excited to introduce our next speaker shortly. I was introduced by actually a mutual friend who told me about this company, Emmerce, and I saw their deck, and I think it's fascinating what they're doing, but also the pure concept of it. In other words, not just the product, but what the product means. And I don't want to, continue too much because I really want to let Ruhi introduce herself and the company and give her presentation. For those who are joining us for the first time, Empower Africa is a business community with a mission to drive investment, trade, and job creation in Africa. We believe in trade over aid, and the business is the best way to create sustainable and scalable solutions. I'm excited and honored to welcome Ruhi Suttarwala, who is the founder and CEO of Emmerce Ltd. She also is an esteemed, I know she got a number of awards, but let me just see how I can bring here. Ruhi, you're supposed to be on now. You just have to turn on your camera and microphone, and then you'll be able to join me. There we go.
Thank you.
And I also just want to point on the right side of the screen, you'll see there's a Q&A section. So if anybody has any questions throughout Ruhi's presentation, you can ask. And then afterwards, she can answer. And of course, once she's done with the presentation, which will be approximately 10, 15 minutes, you can then move on to continue to virtual networking and ask any questions. All right. And of course, if there are any other questions or that you may have, please feel free to reach out to me or anybody else at Empower Africa. Tell us a bit about yourself, and the stage is yours.
All right. Thank you, Shai, so much for the introduction. And thank you, Empower Africa, to give us this opportunity to present our company. Emmerce we started Emmerce around 4 years ago with a dream to making sure that businesses and SMEs and new mothers and youth who had just graduated out of their college, everyone has an equal opportunity to make use of this amazing revolution that's going across the world, across Africa, in the name of e-commerce, where our presenters rightly pointed out that it gives so much opportunity and so much exposure to businesses to not just limit themselves in terms of products, markets, but go across the boundaries and grow their business as much as they can. So what I'll do is I'll share my screen and have a quick presentation up on your screens shortly. Great. So hi everyone, I'm Ruhi Suttarwala. I'm the CEO of Emmerce. At Emmerce, we are making e-commerce easy, accessible, and affordable across the continent of Africa. Now, how are we doing that? When we started off, we were initially offering just services, which would mean digital marketing, call center services, etc., to businesses. But we realized that the kind of services that are needed in the industry need to be offered at a much more scalable level. So that's what took us to the next step. And today, Emmerce offers a strategic mix of services and tech support to enable all sizes of businesses to achieve their full e-commerce potential. We have a short story behind how we got into this. Emmerce is represented currently by myself and my co-founder Gaurav. For me, I have been having my career and professional experiences across Southeast Asia, and then I moved to Africa 8 years ago. I set up a small e-commerce store, and we were selling products on Jumia, my website, Facebook, etc. And we saw a tremendous growth and opportunity when we thought that a lot of businesses could learn from what we are doing and how we've grown. So we started as a consultancy, and we consulted a lot of small businesses, a lot of bigger brands on making sure that their processes on e-commerce from start to end are absolutely seamless and they take full use of the opportunity of e-commerce. On the other hand, Gaurav has worked a lot with different sizes of marketplaces across different continents. I think in terms of marketplaces, his experience has been absolutely spread across different sizes, different regions, and that gives him immense insight into this industry. He's worked in many known names across e-commerce industry. He's worked in Jumia, he's worked in Lazada, Shopee, Snapdeal, which turned out to be one of the biggest e-commerce platforms in India recently. So his experience comes a lot from the marketplaces side. My experience comes a lot from helping SMEs and businesses um, transition to e-commerce. So together, we can offer a full view and a few understanding of how e-commerce works to a lot of businesses across Africa. Now, the other question is like, is this the right time for Africa in terms of e-commerce? And I know, I mean, it's an obvious answer. The answer is yes. However, 2 years ago, I would say most of the businesses were not really inclined towards having any sort of strategy towards e-commerce. The unfortunate incidence of COVID has moved e-commerce closer to a high growth phase from an early adoption phase. We had a lot of our colleagues, a lot of people who were in the age zones of 40 to 60 to 70s have now got onto e-commerce and try out at least buying one or the other product online. The second biggest driving factor across Africa is the African Continent Free Trade Area Agreement. Just at the launch of Free Trade Area Agreement, we've had support from so many amazing organizations around the world. We've had a lot of push coming in from GIZ, from European Union, from African Union, from various governments that have taken so much in terms of change and adaptation to e-commerce to push the concept of African Free Trade Area Agreement on the continent. And we've realized that e-commerce lies at the backbone of making the Free Trade Area Agreement a success. On the other hand, the Free Trade Area Agreement offers around $46 million in terms of the business potential all over Africa to ensure that this amount of trade is not flowing externally, but is being rotated amongst the countries in Africa and make each and every economy much more stronger than where it exists today. In terms of opportunity, where do we see the opportunity as e-commerce is we see a lot of businesses which want to transition to e-commerce. They want to sell locally, cross-border with the help of various platforms that are available. And then on the other side, we have the demand for it, wherein we know that the Free Trade Area Agreement is going to bring together 300 million customers and generate a revenue of around $46 billion by 2025. So where there are businesses that are willing to transition, and then there's this market opportunity. However, there's a huge gap between getting these businesses online, making them understand the whole process of e-commerce, making them understand or choose between various service providers, and then supporting them through their growth and preparation phase to make sure they completely realize the e-commerce potential in terms of business, operations, and marketing. So this is just a very quick or a summarized version of how many people are probably present in that market, how many people are willing to sell online, and unfortunately, how a very few number of people are successful in doing so. So where we realized, looking at the macro opportunity in around 5 economies across Africa and Middle East, we've realized that there are around 600,000 online vendors who want to sell their products online. However, this is the data that we've gathered from various marketplaces. We realize out of more than 500,000 people who are willing to sell online, who set up their online stores, or they have their little Facebook or Instagram shops, we've realized only 6,000 vendors are successful in selling more than 100 items a month. Now, although the story of e-commerce looks really rosy, what we realize is there is a willingness, there's a market, but when it comes to actual numbers of people successfully selling online, there's a huge gap. From 500,000 vendors who want to sell online to 6,000 vendors who are able to successfully and sustainably sell online. So our main idea is to make sure that the number of the gap between 500,000 vendors willing to sell online to 6,000 vendors is closed. And we see maybe 100,000, 200,000, 300,000 vendors successfully selling and having their businesses online. Now, how do we intend to do this? We need to make e-commerce efficient for each and every business that wants to get online. So there are various phases and various support that these businesses need at different stages of their businesses. On the onboarding stage, we realize with the growing number of marketplaces coming in Africa, including Amazon, Jumia, Souk, and Noon, etc., and then a lot of local platforms that are now available to the sellers online. Along with this, we've seen a huge number of logistics companies, payment solution companies come up. So what we do is we vet the service providers. We make sure their rating, their past experiences with our vendors has been good. And we've created an integrated SaaS, which means that you get onto our platform and you see everything like in a mall to see, I need this payment solution provider, I need this logistics solution, I need these marketing support systems. And then you can immediately get online, which means in our experience, when we were doing this manually, from a period of 3 to 4 months to get online, we were able to reduce the period in which an SME can get online to around 1 to 2 weeks. Once the SME is online and has selected the correct processes, we move on to the next phase where we streamline their internal processes, which means integrating everything, including their ERP systems, their order management system, their POS, to make sure the entire internal process is aligned. Once this is ready and the seller is ready to sell on board, we ensure that the seller is having sustainable growth, which I think is the key word with most of our clients. We provide them marketing support, community support, after sales support, everything that they could be missing as an individual business. We provide them with this as an outsourced service, and then ultimately reporting and reconciliation. Now, how SMEs or medium-sized businesses or bigger-sized businesses are able to afford us is that we grow with them. So most of our payment solutions, payment methods includes commission-based payments, wherein if they sell and if they grow is when our company grows. In terms of tech roadmap, we started our idea somewhere in Q1 of 2020. We have our MVP ready and we've launched it with a set of 10 SMEs. And from January onwards, we hope to now offer our solution to much more number of businesses, as well as different countries to which we can expand to. Currently launching in Kenya, and we are targeting Nigeria and Ghana in near future. In terms of traction, we are proud to say that we've worked with businesses that were started, in certain living rooms of, in smaller houses, which were started by young mothers, by fresh graduates out of college. Along with that, we also have had the chance to work with a few well-known brands across Africa. So with this mix, we were able to successfully launch 16 clients so far in making them successfully selling online. And the revenue that's been generated by our company is around $150,000. In terms of revenue model, we've realized that there are multiple ways that our business could make money, as well as help the SMEs make money at the same time. So we don't succeed till the time they succeed. So of course, in terms of tech, we've started us offering our solutions to SMEs from as less as $9 per month, wherein they're able to get online, manage completely their systems just from that particular system. Then comes the service division, where we offer personalized services and in terms of offering telesales, customer service, marketing, starting from $99 to around $1,000 a month. And then finally comes the data analytics, which we realize has huge potential in terms of helping people choose what products to sell, at what price to sell, where to sell, and who to sell. So we hope to offer these data analytics points to clients in future. So currently we are looking for an investment of around $1 million for seed round, when we intend to invest most of our funds into tech and customer acquisition, and then remaining into perfecting our operations for providing best services to the businesses. In terms of expansion, we intend to expand to Kenya and Nigeria immediately, and then move on to the route of Egypt, following to the Middle East channel of UAE and Saudi Arabia. Now, how did we get this idea? How Gaurav and I met were also at this company called e-commerce, which was founded in 2013, offering something similar at that point in time in Far East. So they were covering Thailand, Indonesia, Hong Kong, Singapore, and we see the company has now been able to help a lot of SMEs, a lot of brands successfully launch e-commerce in a highly competitive environment. Similarly, a couple of other similar models are New Store, which is operating in US, and Olist, which is operating majorly in a developing market like us, which is in Latin America. That's it from my side. We invite you to join our journey. We are ready to answer any questions you have. So yes, I'll end my presentation here. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much. Fantastic. Okay, so we're now going to go finish the presentation and move back to the floor. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out directly to Ruhi, or of course to me or Benas Power Africa if you have any more questions. Ruhi, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
And,
Shai.
and thank you, everybody. Stay safe and healthy.